Oh, the Mets were great in Miami. They swept the series there. They have now come over the Sunshine Skyway to St. Petersburg to try to do the same. Friday Night Baseball presented by Jeep as the New York Mets take on the Tampa Bay Rays at Tropicana Field. Hi, I'm Ron Darling alongside Keith Hernandez. Gary Cohen has the weekend off getting ready for the postseason push. And Keith, the unknown really is the Tampa Bay Rays. We're talking about a team where Kevin Cash, their manager, took over for the iconic Joe Maddon. They're one game under 500. They've stayed clear of the AL East as they're playing well, only 8 games back. They don't have a lot of stars, but they've pitched and they've caught it well. The known are the Mets. The Mets are a team that you asked for about a month ago. If they got some bats to go with this pitching, they'd really have a chance. They have the bats now.
Well, they certainly made a lot of great moves at the deadline, and Cespedes, of course, the center fielder, has been the big one. He is a player. He can hit. Duda is starting to respond. Since they've got Cespedes, they're 5-0 as a team. They've outscored their opponents 33-12, averaging 6 runs or more per game. So he has made the big difference here. Remember, this was a club that was struggling for 2 months to score runs. And where are they now, folks? I don't have to tell you, Met fans. They're in first place by a game and a half, very much making a push for the division.
Well, the Mets are still pitching it, and they have one of their best tonight. Jacob deGrom, who grew up close here to St. Petersburg in DeLand, Florida, went to Stetson in his last 13 starts. He's 7-2. His ERA about 1.5. And he's facing the Tampa Bay pitcher tonight, Jake Odorizzi, who, even though he's 6-6, has pitched much better than that. A great ERA. They're only averaging 3 runs per start for Jake this season. Mets had a great run in June of 2012. Last time they were here in Tropicana, they swept the series then. Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Astoria Bank. At Astoria Bank, the difference is wanting to make a difference. Visit AstoriaBank.com. By Heineken. Open your world. By Dollar Shave Club. Shave time, shave money. By Jeep. Visit Jeep.com today. And by Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. Well, act fast. Tonight is the final night to purchase tickets for any remaining 2015 regular season games and skip the fees. No fees ends tonight, so hurry to get your savings. Go to Mets.com/no fees. Well, here's your Data Strong fan of the game. T-Mobile shot of the game. Nice picture there. Recovering a Michael Jonas. Well, I hope you're feeling a little better. Mets take on the Rays here with Jacob deGrom going for the Mets, Odorizzi for the Tampa Bay Rays, and they hope to sting the Rays here at Tropicana Field. The pregame meeting is held looking up at the ceiling because there's 4 different rings here at Tropicana Field. A is the highest, D is the lowest, and you have to know that if it hits C or D, it's a home run. Hits B, it's in play, and the highest one, it will not hit in this game. It's too high. Here comes Jake Odorizzi, who's making the start for the Rays today. Tampa Bay Ray team has been really incredible. Only one game under 500. In the Mets starting lineup. Since you said it in the pregame, Keith, I'm only going to point out the new guys that are in there. Batting third is NYN Cespedes. Uribe is playing third base today. And Kelly Johnson is in the 8th slot for the Mets this evening. Well, Jake Odorizzi explained in the pregame his record should be better than 66. The pitch to look for him that's really changed his career is that he picked up a changeup. It's a split finger changeup he picked up from Alex Cobb, who's on the disabled list. And with that pitch, he has really turned it around against left-handers. Those are his Toyota numbers so far this year.
And we'll take a look at the Tampa Rays defense, brought to you by Coors Light. It's Kevin Kiermaier is really a fantastic outfielder, go get him guy. He's got a ton of assists thus far this year. The infield, geez, James Loney, he's been around a long time. The former Dodger, Evan Longoria, the perennial all-star over at third base. Kurt Casale behind the dish.
You know, it's interesting, Keith. You pointed out the outfield with Kiermaier. To his right in right field is Daniel Nava. You know him as the right fielder, outfielder for the Boston Red Sox. DFA'd, signed here by Tampa Bay because they've struggled so much offensively. Kind of like the Mets 10 days ago.
Yes.
Here's Nava.
And a very red-hot Curtis Granderson, who has really quietly been on a tear for the Mets, doing a terrific job leading off.
First pitch fastball called for a strike by Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire.
20 straight games Curtis has reached base safely. And over that period, Curtis hitting .321 with 7 doubles, 4 home runs, 12 RBI, 16 run scores. What more do you want from a leadoff hitter? He's just been fantastic. There's Daniel Murphy in the on-deck circle. He's DHing tonight.
That's that changeup roll to the right side into the shift. Play made by Forsythe for the first out. You know, it's interesting, Keith, when you look at the Mets when they play against the Rays, the DH comes into play. The Mets might be the only team in baseball that suffers when the DH is in play because their pitchers are so good at hitting infielding.
Well, and also they don't really have a classic power hitter for a DH. Usually, you know, Murph is a doubles hitter.
Murph has his average all the way to 275 as he takes that first pitch for a ball down.
Murph's been hitting the ball good, had a good series down in Florida. Miami, I should say. We're still in Florida.
He had 3 hits. So did Ruben Tejada in that win on Wednesday night, where the Mets were winning 8-0 and had quite a scare in the 9th inning as the Marlins scored 6 runs, but the Mets held on.
Well, everybody had a good road trip so far in Miami. They just tore up Miami.
Talking to some of the people in Tampa Bay, Odorizzi's changed his kind of career around after being traded for 2 good starters. Matt Garza early, Zach Greinke he was traded for. He works a lot quicker than he used to. Another ball hit to the right side. Forsythe with both plays so far here early in the game. Well, this is your man, Keith, that you were talking about. He's some kind of athlete, isn't he?
He's a hitter. He can run the bases, run. He's fast. He can hit. You notice in Miami now, it's just been 5 games. He took an 0 for his first game, folks. Been hit safely in the last 4. He hits the ball to right center field. He's got tremendous power. 18 home runs coming in when the Mets acquired him. Yet they hit a home run as a Met. But he has scored 4 runs and driven in 5. So in 5 games, that's 9 runs produced. I'll take it. And a little bit of a shift on Cespedes here. I just haven't seen this shift I'll put on Cespedes yet thus far. They didn't in Miami, did they?
Well, they usually don't do it against right-handers because you got to have a second baseman who has a strong enough arm to get it over there. Obviously, Logan Forsythe has that for Kevin Cash and the Rays. Ground ball hit foul on the left field line. You know what I've found great about Cespedes since he's been over? He went into Terry Collins' office. A lot of these superstars come with an egotistical entourage. He came in and said, just play me every day. I don't care where I play. I don't care where I hit. I'm ready to help. That's unusual in today's game. 1-2 pitch to Cespedes. Another one pulled foul. The stands here down the left and right field line kind of come out a little bit, so those balls fans are going to get a lot of souvenirs. Lucas Duda on deck.
Yeah, there's a lot of foul territory in this ballpark, that's for sure. Much aids the pitcher, obviously.
Artificial turf. And a fastball away. Gets Cespedes. Perfectly placed by Odorizzi. Boy, he hasn't struck out in a while, but he got it there from Odorizzi as the Tampa Bay Rays come up against Jacob deGrom. The Dome. John Jaso is back with the Tampa Bay Rays. He's been one of their better hitters. Longoria is their star. Forsythe and Kiermaier have played pretty well. Casali, the catcher, has provided some power. DeGrom with the first pitch. Up high for a ball to Jaso. It's got to be fun here for Jacob DeGrom to pitch in front of so much family. He only lives about 2.5 hours away from St. Petersburg. Those are his Jeep numbers for the year. Pop up down the left field side. Doesn't look like anyone's going to get to it. Conforto couldn't as it bounces into the stands. Jaso's been interesting. He's been part of that Oakland platoon system for the last couple of seasons. He started his career out here. He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. That's how long he's been around. And now has caught fire after coming back.
Well, since coming over here, he's been doing a heck of a job. 62 at bats, hitting .339. I know it's a small sliver, but nevertheless producing thus far. And right away, DeGrom throwing hard.
There's a shot of the rings. The top one is the A, comes down B, C, and the one in D runs along the outfield line. Good fastball, but DeGrom jams Jaso. Jaso decided in this game, Keith, he was going to grow his hair out. That's the best way to face DeGrom. See Grady Sizemore on deck.
Samson versus Samson.
Here we go.
Mets playing a shift on Jaso.
Looks like Jaso is going to get a new bat. He said something's wrong with his bat.
Probably broke it. And you can see Kelly Johnson deep in right field. The old triangles shift. Leaving Flores at shortstop, moving Uribe from third base over on the second base side of Segunda Base.
Count even here to Jaso. Fastball up and away. This is something you saw from DeGrom in his last start. His fastball command a little high early in the game. He's got to be pumped up, pitch in front of the home folks. Fouled off by Jaso. Interesting, not your classic leadoff hitter. Doesn't have a lot of speed, but he right now is probably one of the hottest bats in the lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays.
And the Rays have 65 stolen bases on the year. They're 4th in the American League.
Fly ball to center field. Looks like Cespedes is going to have this one easy. An underhand toss back into the infield.
Well, he loves to play center field. And Ron, you mentioned that when he came over, and we'll do a quick look at the defense, the Met defense, of course. Your first place Mets. How about that one? Oh, and the graphic machine is just locked up, so we'll come back to defense. First place Mets.
It happened to me on Wednesday. They said it's not human error, it's a graphic machine. It's no one's fault.
They never make a mistake in the truck. It's always the machinery.
Breaking ball there by DeGrom for a ball. Grady Sizemore, of course, had his great years in Cleveland, went over to Boston after he had been hurt with knee and back problems. Mets recently saw him in Philadelphia, and Tampa Bay picked him up.
Well, he struggled up in Philly in a hitter's park. You know, a nice right field, short porch in right field, and just didn't get it done. Boy, he just was such a budding star in Cleveland not too long ago.
Boy, late on that fastball as the count goes to 1-2. In Cleveland, he had a year where he had 28 home runs, 53 doubles, hit close to 300, stole bases. He was almost kind of like the Bryce Harper, Mike Trout of his day. A lot of movement on the fastball by DeGrom so far here in the first inning.
If you noticed, our cameras in center field are much higher, coming over the top of DeGrom, and you can get a better read on how his fastball runs upstairs. Interesting how a different angle. There you go. It's a lot higher, that vantage point.
Do you like that vantage point?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It'd be nice to have both. But our director, you know, he wouldn't even think of that.
Fastball right down the middle, taken by Sizemore for strike 3. Fastball, Keith.
Yes, he's coming out throwing hard, and this is right down the middle and knee high. It was something that we talked about, Ron, that DeGrom is 27 years old. So last year when he came up, He was 26. I've never seen anybody come up in a rookie season, command the knees in the corner of the strike zone as he does. And he's still doing it this year, which is really his second season.
Evan Longoria up for the Rays. He is there, for lack of a better phrase, they're David Wright. He's on a big contract. He's a guy that is an incredible defensive player, great offensive player, but having a down year offensively so far this year.
Dare I say, your lovable Mets, your defense, brought to you by Lexus. Conforto hit the bomb and Miami gets a start in left field again. Kelly Johnson in the lineup. Uribe getting a lot of playing time at third base. And of course, very happy to see d'Arnaud behind the plate again, playing every day.
This is just that two-seam fastball down and in. Not close by Longoria. Fastball up, called that way to center field, but one hopped by Cespedes. Cespedes aggressively tried to make the play on that, but it got down too quickly.
Well, they kept his body in front, Ron, so the ball doesn't get by him. Well done. Playing a very deep center field. Longoria's got power. Even though his power numbers are down this year, only 12 home runs on the season.
Luckily, he had the jewelry on. It kind of protected him with the jewelry with the baseball. Hit him right, seemed like right in the upper chest. Always different playing on this artificial carpet. James Loney up for the Rays. When Loney came up with the Dodgers, you thought that he and Ethier and Kemp were going to be there for the next 10 years. And he's struggled offensively. Drove in 93 seasons in a row. Ground ball foul. Here's the ball, Keith. Let's see where it hits him.
Well, rolled up his arm and got him under the chin. An uppercut.
Just like Teofilo Stevenson. He took it. No problem.
Very good, Ron. That's bringing one out from the past.
We're trying to go back to Cuba, right?
Jeez. The gold medalist and heavyweight champ.
Good change up from DeGrom to Loney. I was saying that Loney, when he first came up, he drove in 90, it seemed, every year for the Dodgers, and he was going to be a mainstay, but then the offense just dried up. See, d'Arnaud has that little tick of if he calls for the pitch down and he gets it from the pitcher, he'll always point his glove out to the pitcher saying, way to go, way to throw the ball to the glove, even if it's a ball.
He wants him to throw over. Not much of a lead from Longoria.
Longoria early in his career used to run a lot, similar to David Wright, but that is not the case anymore.
You know, I always felt, Ron, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know, that we saw d'Arnaud give the thumb for the to tell d'Arnaud DeGrom to throw over.
Yeah.
It's coming from the bench. I always felt it was a lot of times pitchers are so involved in pitching to the hitters that sometimes they can forget, particularly young pitchers, what situations they're in base runners.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Keith. Loney fouls another one back. I think what happens, the coach who calls it, usually it's Bob Guerin, if he calls it, it's because he has a sense that Longoria is starting to get a walking lead. If he's getting a walking lead, he wants one throw over. One throw over for a guy who doesn't steal bases will stop him from stealing the entire time. Change up, ground to shortstop. The play by Flores easily on to first base. No scorer in the first, and it's coming up for the Mets. Duda, Uribe, and Conforto.
At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Chief, I have to thank you so much for reading those.
I'm going to read tonight.
I appreciate it.
You got enough on your plate tonight. you got to do play-by-play and deal with me. I can help.
First pitch changeup from Odorizzi down. 47 extra base hits this year for Lucas. 21, as you see, of them have been homers, especially of late.
Well, Lucas has been the beneficiary of the pickup of Cespedes, and it's just amazing. He started hitting before Cespedes got here, but has really taken off, and it's more, subconsciously.
Ball hit the right field, pretty good, but it'll stay in the ballpark as Daniel Nava makes the play.
Just got it on the end of the bat. I think it was an off-speed pitch, Ron.
Well, you can tell by my voice, I thought he got more of it, but you're right. Change up away, off the end.
Just towards the end, and Lucas has been using more of left center field, which I love to see. There's not a ballpark that can hold him. We know that very strong.
Coming up to the plate is Juan Uribe. You were talking about his holding court wherever he goes, or Terry Collins mentioned that.
Well, remember, he came over here. He's been on 2 World Championship teams. He's a veteran. He's had an up and down career, a tremendous fielder, but one of those guys that gives. And there's Terry Collins. Got to be very happy with the troops he's got now. Looks like a major league club now. Uribe is a cut and slasher, and he's smart enough to look away when he has to and go the other way. But he never gets cheated.
What's that mean for our folks at home? Cut and slasher.
It's a good question. Cut and slasher. He stays level on the high pitch, and he'll fly up on his shoulders, but he'll keep his hands back, and he just kind of slashes at it.
Slider from Uribe on the ground to the shortstop. Cabrera with the play for the second out. Well, Cabrera was one of their big acquisitions this winter. Remember, if you're Mets fans, you saw him playing second base at the end of last year for the Washington Nationals, but has moved over here, signed a contract with Tampa Bay. Interesting. Michael Conforto. How many days does he have in the major leagues? Keith, you got a shift for Michael Conforto.
Already. He's been a little pull lately. He's been getting a lot of off-speed pitches. This is how it was when 25 years ago. You come up and they throw you fastballs to find out if you can hit the fastball, and then once you hit the fastball, which he's proven, then they start seeing, okay, can he hit the breaking ball? And that's all he's been getting lately.
Fastball poured in by Odorizzi.
Friday Night Baseball on SNY is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com today.
Pulled foul by Conforto on the breaking ball from Odorizzi. You know what's interesting with this shift? It almost tells Conforto that he's going to get a steady diet of slow pitches.
And when you're a young hitter, Ron, and you're moved up quickly to the big leagues, where they can off-speed you to death and breaking ball you to death, you want to hit a fastball. You're used to hitting ahead in the count fastballs, and that's the big adjustment in the big leagues.
Fastball upstairs, right by Conforto as Odorizzi gets through for the second inning. Still no score here in Tampa Bay. He's had probably the best offensive year all year for the Tampa Bay Rays. 13 home runs, 50 RBI. He's a guy that was really a player off the bench, but he's found an everyday spot here in Tampa.
Leading the team in RBI at 50. Good. Oh, where's that? Oh, there's a strike. Better. Inside corner. You want that one.
You're umpiring from up here. Very good.
Well, you can tell right away DeGrom's feeling pretty good. He's got that fastball. He's throwing 90% fastballs. Just challenging hitters.
Check swing over to the right side. One of the best fielding pitchers in all of baseball. DeGrom picks that up pretty easily. You know, it's been really sobering, Keith, for all of us to come to this area that has just been inundated with rainfall that has decimated this Tampa Bay area for 2.5 to 3 weeks. That has just been a steady downpour that has decimated the area. It's overtaxed some of the emergency situations, and you see usually the rainfall around 15 inches. They got 23.5 inches just in July. So tough times for some of the folks here in this county.
Well, a lot of the flooding has come from, they don't have a lot of up-to-date drainage system on the roads, and they can really flood here. Ron, we used to spring train here.
That's
you
right.
know that. Get a heavy rain afternoon thunderstorm, it would get things in bad shape quickly.
Drupal Cabrera up for the Rays. 249 hitter on the season with 7 home runs and just 28 RBI. I think they expected more for him. He's a little bit like Grady Sizemore, had some of his best years and one huge year as the Cleveland shortstop. That ball fouled off to the left side.
Well, he was one of the guys that was floated around in the offseason that the Mets were looking for a shortstop, and he was available, and Mets didn't go after him, and I was kind of glad to see that. Obviously settled on Wilmer Flores, and now it seems as if Tejada has won back his job, who's just been playing terrific. Ruben.
Well, that fastball by DeGrom has some snap on it. How do you know that? When you watch the hitters, their reaction is just a little late.
They're quick with it. That means the ball's rushing up there. We used to call it rushing it up there. So when you get a guy that throws hard like this, 96, 97, what I don't see the hitters do today is they're so relaxed because they don't get thrown at anymore. Because if I had someone out there throwing bullets, I had to get a little more crouched and ready. I just couldn't go up there like I'm on a rocking chair.
Yeah. A lot of Mets fans, and you hear the "Let's Go Mets" chant as that slider down in the dirt, and another full count hitter Cabrera.
One of the few breaking balls that DeGrom has thrown. Remember, DeGrom's last start was really a gutty performance. He struggled, gave up the 2 runs in the first inning, and then went 5 strong goose eggs. I thought it was a real gutty performance.
Fastball down, pulled foul by Cabrera.
That was a game, Ronnie, where he didn't have any command of any of his pitches, and he just kept his composure as if he was an 8-year veteran. That really impressed me.
That's one of the great things about him. I think from day one when he came up, it didn't matter if he was winning by 4 or losing by 4. He just keeps executing his pitches. Same stare, workman-like stare as he puts down Cabrera for the second out. Interesting, whenever the strikeout comes and the shift's on, you see this fastball away. Good run, Keith.
Yep, that's they got the 4-seamer and the 2-seamer.
I always feel this is a little too early as Daniel Nava comes up. A recent acquisition. They've thrown him right in the lineup, but we're going to do it for our Mets fans. The Washington Nationals are up 1-0 after the first inning. Bryce Harper with a ground out to score Daniel Espinosa.
Steve, there's a good breaking ball in the outside corner. Steven Strasburg is coming back tomorrow off the DL. He'll start tomorrow. It's time. It's appropriate. Start scoreboard watching. We're in August.
That's the first good breaking ball for a strike from Jacob. Slider, then changeup to get up 0-2 on Nava.
Well, lo and behold, look who's on top of the pack. Hello there. That makes you smile, doesn't it, back home?
8 games over. 8-2 in their last 10. Fastball on the 0-2 count into right field. Granderson in with the sliding catch. So difficult on this AstroTurf at times, but Granderson, the veteran, makes the play. and gets the final light for DeGrom here at the end of 2. Still no score here in Tampa. He could pitch and strike out people, and boy, could he eat.
He hasn't come up for air, folks. We've had the camera on him in commercial break, and he's been chowing down like there's no tomorrow.
Travis d'Arnaud leading off for the Mets. It was 30 years ago, 30 seasons ago, when he had that 24-4 record with a 1.53 ERA. Got to chart every one of those starts. What a pleasure that was. Odorizzi with the slider, but d'Arnaud hits it into the shift and caught by Forsythe for the line out.
Very interesting, too. Tampa Bay with a shift on d'Arnaud. So, 2 right-hand hitters, they put the shift on, and that's most of the time, I would say most of the time, 98% of the time, maybe 99%. It's on the right side of the infield with a left-hand hitter like now with Kelly Johnson.
Well, there's a lot of analytics here for the Tampa Bay Rays, and think about that. That's a base hit 98% of the time for d'Arnaud, instead turned into an out. Kelly Johnson, the veteran, up for the Mets here, hitting an 8th in the order, and another shift to the right side. Infielders for the Rays are in the best shape of all of baseball. d'Arnaud was so interesting when he hit that ball off the end of the bat and Forsythe caught it. It was almost like he was shocked that someone was playing there.
You know what I feel is, to pitch him away, play him away. I think that Odorizzi with his changeup, I think it's a pitch he likes to throw. It's going to get hitters. He throws it to right-handers too. It's get hitters out in front more tending to pull.
Well, his control has been impeccable so far, as he's perfect through the first 7 Mets.
Well, he missed the whole month of June with an oblique. Was on the DL, missed 5 starts. This is his 6th start since coming off the disabled list, and that was back on July 11th.
And when he came back, he wasn't throwing as well as he had before he had hurt the oblique. Sometimes it takes a while to let it go. Fastball away. Johnson just dumps it into left field for a base hit.
The first hits for the Mets here, a little inside out. Not really inside out, just a little ball was away.
And Wilmer Flores, wherever he goes, he is a icon
How about that? So no, it was something that was seen on ESPN everywhere. It went around the country. Everybody saw that night. I think when we look back, I think it galvanized the Mets.
Well, very few times, as Tim Timmons calls that slider for a strike, do things that happen on one particular team's field go national. Now, the great players go national. We're always going to see the Mike Trout highlights. We're not going to see the Wilmer Flora highlights or lowlights or whatever light you'd like to put that in. But the humanity of that moment has made him a figure that gets a standing O everywhere he goes. Curtis on deck.
Well, we're an American League town. DH, no pitchers hitting in this game.
Ground ball through the hole and into left field. Sizemore scoops it up and throws it in. Runners at first and second for the Mets.
Well, nice hitting by Flores here. Pretty much straight up on the infield. Ball hit too good in the hole. Well done. Hit them where they ain't. Sorry for the slang, but that's old baseball terminology.
Wee Willie. Interesting no shift there for the Rays against Wilmer. The shift for Darno, that would have been an out, but turns into a hit. Another shift for Granderson on the right side. Third baseman Longoria has to stay there as the Mets fans here are loud.
Well, again, Curtis has been just doing a terrific job the last 3 weeks. You know, I know that, you know, when a club's red hot, the old saying, the club never looks as good as it is when it's red hot, never looks as bad as it is when it's slumping. But I get a sense here with this Met team, Ron, that they're coming together. Yeah. I really feel that.
Odorizzi behind his second hitter in a row, 3-0. You know what's interesting to me, Keith, is when you say that, it's hard for fans to kind of react. I know what you're saying. I feel exactly the same way. Like they've done a lot of talking that they're close, but you really can't be close until you start putting some W's on the board, and they have. Curtis always likes to swing 3-0. Hits this ball deep to left field. Sizemore goes back on the track. He'll make the play. But Kelly Johnson, the veteran, tags up at second and on to third base. And Flores follows him to second as both runners get into scoring position.
Well, a gift from Grady Sizemore there. He had no shot really to throw the runner out at third. He should have thrown to the second base to keep the second runner, the trailing runner, out of scoring position. Good base running by Johnson, advancing on a ball hit to the track. Wilmer the same thing, and checking where the throw is. And now that the throw's going to third base, he can just drop it down the second gear. So a base hit, a 2-out single right now makes it 2-0. Those are the little things that beat you in the course of a game.
Well, in the course of 162, if you play like that all year, it can mean 5, 6, 7, or 8 wins. Change up for a ball from Odorizzi.
I always like to look at pitchers who are control pitchers, and Odorizzi is certainly one. How he pitches when men are on base. Fell behind Curtis 3-0. Falling behind Murphy 1-0.
No shift against Murphy, who you can't shift against. Hits the ball all over the field. It's gap to gap, like you say, Keith.
They got Cabrera up the middle. That's about it.
Fastball in, jams Murphy as he fouls it straight back.
Well, the 2-out RBI. This is a clutch at bat right here. Get your club in front. 6-game winning streak. They won 8 out of the last 10 and vaulted into first place in the National League East.
Is there a thought process for a hitter against the control pitcher with 2
up
outs?
The middle? Base hit.
Up the middle.
Looking for a line drive to drive in 2. It depends on the pitcher too, Ron, what he throws, and each pitcher has his own pattern or how he likes to pitch it. That's the first time I've seen Odorizzi pitching. If I was facing him, never faced him, I'd be going right up the middle trying to get a base hit.
Well, you think with this count with Cespedes on deck that Murphy's going to get a pitch to hit. Cespedes helps everyone in that lineup just by his presence. Another ball by Odorizzi, who looks like doesn't really want to throw that fastball for a strike when he gets in trouble.
Either way you slice it, this is a very good pitch to hit. If it throws you any garbage that is a good pitch for him, you can spit on it. But you got to cover the fastball here.
It's been going away. That's what Murph should get. And Murph, no, Tim Timmons, don't play umpire with the late call, calls it for a strike.
And I think Murph's got a gripe. This ball is away, but it's a changeup, not a pitch to hit. Look at the catcher creep back with the glove.
Timmons so far early in this game has had a very big strike zone for the pitchers. Flores, Johnson on third, Flores on second. Fly ball straight up in the air, traveling a little bit, but Kiermaier in center field makes the play. So a couple of singles by Johnson and Wilmer Flores, but no score here in St. Petersburg. Telling you before, he's got a lot of family here. 2.5 hours away from St. Petersburg is DeLand, Florida, where he grew up, Stetson University, as he's pitching to Kevin Kiermaier, the center fielder for the Rays. I wrote in a number today that I don't usually write in for players. 11 triples for Kiermaier.
I noticed that, along with 20 doubles and 4 home runs. It's a lot of extra base hits.
Well, what they love about Kiermaier is that his defense is as solid as any one in the league. He'll probably lose the Gold Glove to Lorenzo Cain. That's Kurt Casale on deck. That ball popped up. Just had a lot of foul territory, but I don't think Uribe is going to get to that one as it hits the top of the dugout.
You know, we should have
It's interesting to watch Jacob here early, even though he's getting through this lineup. His fastball command is not what it usually is. Everything up and away.
Well, this is the second start.
This ball lined to right field. Granderson playing deep, and that's a base hit. to Kevin Kiermaier.
Well, you know what? It's a 3-1 count, and it's a hitter's count. And read in the paper today that this club, who struggled to score runs, is starting to be more aggressive. Uh-oh.
Well, that's Jacob in college with a little bigger curveball, a changeup. Still had that gas, but his windup has changed a little bit,
yes.
Especially the arm action. He was very right straight to the ear. Now he reaches back to second base, a little longer arm action. That's where he gets the extra speed. Oh, ball inside. Does it hit the batter, Kurt Casale? Yes, it did.
Got his forearm, I believe.
Well, the runner Kiermaier was running. They put the pitcher hit and run on.
Oh,
and Casale's trying to make contact and couldn't. Ball hit him right in the left forearm wrist area.
Can I see that again?
I mean, that's a nightmare for the hitter. The hit and run is on, and you got to try to put the ball in play, and the ball comes up and in. Kiermaier on the run. Watch this ball just trail him.
Oh, yeah. Got him on the forearm. Got him on the ulna.
He's got forearms like a dock worker, like most catchers, so maybe able to take the brunt of that as he tries to walk it off. It's interesting.
They're calling it a foul ball?
Well, they're calling that he offered at the pitch.
Wow, that can't be.
If you offer at the pitch, it doesn't matter if it hits you. You got to go back.
Let's see. He's trying to get out of the way. There's no way. No way. That is a terrible call. This is a good crew right here, but that is a terrible call. Big break for the Mets.
I'm surprised there wasn't more argument about that play. And Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire, is telling Kevin Cash he does not want to.
You know what?
Want to hear it.
Blew the call. Wow.
Big break for the Mets.
Another 2-0 count here. Oh, it's one, and that's right. It's called a strike.
It's called a strike because he offered for it. It's a dead ball, even though it hits the hitter. For you folks at home, it's a dead ball even though he swung. So that's why the runner who is going has to come back to first base, because the play is dead.
Well, that was a bad call.
Well, you mentioned those stolen bases, Keith. So the Mets are spending more time keeping these Rays runners close to the bag. Another throw over by DeGrom.
11 stolen bases for Kiermaier, only caught twice.
Strike on the bottom of the strike zone as DeGrom gets ahead. Casale had an interesting 2 days. 2 days in a row, he had 2 home runs in a game, the 28th and 29th of July. And on that second game, when he hit the 2 home runs, they're both off David Price, who went to Vanderbilt, and so did Casale. There's a ball to center field, hit on the line. Is Cespedes got enough speed to get it? He does. And Kiermaier scampers back to first base.
Well, Cespedes is a very, very capable center fielder. Playing deep here in this ballpark, makes the adjustment, comes in and gets that ball. I mean, it's a routine Del Monte right there.
Keith, you have to play a little deeper on this AstroTurf because of the bounce.
Ball will get by you quick, but you know what? Even today's grass fields, Ron, are like putting greens.
It's Jaso up for his second at bat. He flew out to Cespedes in his first.
And I understand Miami, they had it really cut short.
Miami, San Diego, you're right. Most of the fields today are cut really short and the ball flies. But the infield is so good that you don't have a lot of bad hops. 2 fastballs away for balls by DeGrom.
Now remember, DeGrom is coming off a start where he had the least amount of command I've ever seen him in his 2 years in the big leagues. So this was a bounce back start for him, and he's still a little bit off right now.
Threw 113 pitches in that start. Gets that call from Timmons to get to 2-1. Here's the ERA earned run leaders in the National League. Greinke, who got beat up a little bit, so his ERA went all the way to 1.71. Those ERA leaders presented by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com and a promo code NYN for free entry. Double play there by the Mets as DeGrom gets his ground ball from Jaso. Still no score here after 3.
To come from the center field behind second base, so it's a different double play turn. It's not as him coming across the bag into right field to make the double play because of the positioning. So a lot goes into a lot of changes, a lot of alterations have to be made when you do these extreme shifts.
And you know, it's interesting, you see guys take ground balls all the time. They never turn 2 in that shift. Only in the game do they do it. Odorizzi with a slider for a strike and a changeup for a ball as Lucas Duda waits on deck. Duda just missed one his last time up, flew out to right field.
Well, what a difference a player makes to a ball club. I mean, you can go back to the '69 Mets, and what comes to mind there was the move they made from Montreal to getting Don Clendenon in '69. It vaulted the Mets to the first World Championship.
There's a fly ball to right field. Deep goes Nava, but it gets held up and makes the play at the warning track for out number 1. The other thing you see about Cespedes is that he has power to all fields, coast to coast, right field to left field. You know, it's interesting about '69. You brought up Don Clendenon, Keith. He played in about 70 games, I believe, for the Mets down the stretch. That's similar to what Cespedes is going to play for this ball club.
And I believe the Mets platooned him with Cranepo at first base, and I do believe that Clendenon was the MVP of that World Series.
Well, you were one of the great additions to the Mets team, too, but it didn't pay dividends until a little later because the '83 club was a little sketchy.
Well, Hercules couldn't have helped that '83 bunch.
Two fastballs poured in by Odorizzi. Well, there's Clendenning's numbers, Keith.
Yes, they are in the 72 games with the Mets. But remember, there was no one who was really a home run hitter in that ballpark. So he had 12 home runs in 2 months, so gave him some pop.
3 fastballs, all taken by Lucas Duda as he strikes out for the second out here in the 4th inning.
Well, I got to think Lucas was looking for a changeup. Remember, they got him out the first at bat with a changeup, Ronnie.
He just gets so much information, Keith. It's hard not to guess sometimes. I think that's what happens.
C-ball hit it.
Yep.
Be like a primordial. Don't all that stuff. Get a look at it and get up there and make your own adjustments. Too many other people thinking for you.
He's looking very sharp. You can see why his ERA has been so good this year, under 3 for most of the year. Slider hit right on the nose by Uribe to center field, but Kiermaier with a great jump to put it away. Well, beautiful St. Petersburg and Tropicana Field. No score at the middle 4.
National superstar. Get an inside look at Jacob deGrom's success and his journey to stardom on Mets Insider, presented by W.B. Mason, Sunday at 4:30, only on SNY.
Beautifully deliberate there, Keith. Sizemore with a drive to right field, and that ball's gone. Sizemore's 4th home run of his much-traveled season.
It was an off-speed pitch, Ron.
Evan Longoria up for the Rays.
And that is his 6th home run of the season, 4th here as a Ray. And line drive right into the right field seats. Something off speed, Ronnie.
When he was in his prime, he used to do that almost nightly.
That's what the Phillies were thinking they wanted from him. They didn't get it.
A lot of big swings here the second time through the order by the Rays. A lot of it is because DeGrom has pitched behind in the count a lot. Well over 50 pitches here with no outs in the fourth inning.
That's the 7th home run of the year giving up to left-handers by DeGrom. 10 on the season.
You know, Keith, you were talking about a comeback kind of start for DeGrom. I was wrong. I said 113. He had 117 pitches and 6 innings of work against the Nationals. Fastball on the outside part, hitting the air. Looks like Granderson's going to settle under it for the first out here in the fourth. James Loney with a ground out to the shortstop his first time up. Fastball inside James Loney for DeGrom to get ahead. Loney was a guy that out of high school, they weren't sure if they wanted to draft him as a pitcher or a hitter. In high school, he could throw well over 90 miles an hour. Behind 0-2.
DeGrom has had trouble, Ronnie, his last start, as well as into this start with his slider. He's been doesn't have the crispness in that slider, and the command is not there.
Fastball inside, pull down the line, but foul.
And this was a Tampa club that has scored 5+ runs in 5 of its last 7 games, and they made an alteration in their philosophy, their hitting philosophy. Before, they had only scored 4 runs or less in the prior 13 games, so they started not taking pitches, starting to attack early in the count, and it's been giving them a lot more run production.
That ball fisted to left field. Does it stay fair? Yes, it does. Gets by Conforto and rolls to the wall, and a double for Loney. That's Loney's 8th double of the season. And the first maybe tiny miscue as it just falls fair by Conforto.
Well, I think it would have been a double anyway if he makes the play. This is an opposite field Texas leaguer. And if you notice, folks, when that ball hit the black coming up from the turf, much like it did in Toronto, got the same AstroTurf here. And for some reason on those bounces, that black stuff comes up. Don't like it.
Strike one by DeGrom. Aesthetically, it just doesn't look nice, right?
Health-wise, I'd be more worried about it. Playing 81 games on it.
Loney with the lead. He's got the glove on the right hand and that kind of oven mitt that they use to protect the thumb on the left hand. Fastball command from DeGrom getting a little better. One thing the Mets pitchers have done after giving up a home run, they've been able to recoup pretty quickly. And DeGrom trying to do this here in the fourth. Logan Forsythe with a check swing out in his first at bat. DeGrom to Duda.
Well, right now DeGrom best pitch is his number 1 is his fastball. He is predominantly thrown his fastballs in this game. You see his rankings in the National League. Sterling. It's 199 the opponent's hitting against him. My goodness.
Forsythe, no chance on that good changeup from DeGrom on 0-2. One of the rare changeups we've seen him throw from right-hander to right-hander.
Well, the fastball always sets up everything else for the pitcher. The pitcher can establish the fastball and get ahead, it opens up everything else for him. There's other pitches in his arsenal.
As Cabrera comes up, that's only the third strikeout from DeGrom. This entire staff, can go with a huge tally when it comes to strikeouts, but only 3. Nationals now up 2-0 on the Colorado Rockies.
Good pitch inside.
After the Mets are done here in St. Petersburg against the Rays, they'll go home, and their first opponent will be Walt Weiss's Colorado Rockies.
Jose Reyes returns to Citi Field. Second time for a second helping.
Fastball fisted back. There's the road ahead by Buick. Marlins sweep Tampa Bay for the first game here. Then you get the Rockies for 4, and then the Buccos come in for a weekend series. The Bucks, I think, one of the best teams in the National League.
That is a series that's going to be outstanding over the weekend. And here we are into the second week of August. Can you believe how fast it's gone? It has for me.
It really has. Your schedule picks up now, though. So
that's right. I forgot. Strike that. Good backdoor slider. Good swing by Cabrera.
Cabrera was angry with himself that he missed that slider. As the pitchers for the rest of the series, Noah Syndergaard takes on the rookie Nathan Carnes, who's had a nice year, and Bartolo Colon coming off a great start, 8 innings, giving up just 1 run against the best pitcher for the Rays and one of the best in baseball, Chris Archer, who beat Chris Sale in his last start.
I am looking very much forward to seeing Archer. Never seen him pitch in person.
Fastball by Cabrera out of the glove of Darnell, but with the tag, the inning ends. No running for Cabrera there after striking out. But the Grady Sizemore hits a home run off DeGrom, and they take the lead 1-0. Over the Mets. Let's go to Steve Gelbs, whose report tonight is brought to you by Prism.
Ron, Michael Conforto coming to the plate, and we've spoken in the last couple of weeks about guys, their setups as they await for a pitch. Nothing too out of the ordinary with Conforto, but watch right before he gets fully set up. He rests his bat right on his back shoulder very briefly, and the only reason that's noticeable is it's something that he had never done until he turned pro. Now, Conforto wasn't sure exactly why the habit started, but he does say it's something that relaxes him right before he gets up to the plate, something that keeps him loose here now that he's in the major leagues for sure.
You know what's interesting, Steve? Remember that phrase, Keith, that you'd hear in the minor leagues, that a guy was white-knuckling it?
Yes.
It meant that he was squeezing almost the sawdust out of the bat, and his knuckles would become white.
Like Rusty on an airplane flight. Well, interesting that he developed that little idiosyncrasy, I guess you'd call it. Whatever it takes to relax. Willie Stargell used to do the circular motion with his bat. Very extreme. It's all about being relaxed.
Fly ball off the bat of Conforto. Kiermaier comes in easily to make the catch for the first out.
And you know, guys, who knows how much longer Conforto is going to be up here with Michael Kadyr's return right on the horizon. But for sure, the Mets coaching staff has been very, very impressed by what they've seen. Kevin Long, some pretty high praise on Conforto. He said his swing is Robinson Cano-esque. And what he meant by that, it's the same type of balance, the same type of smoothness. Obviously, he's got a long way to produce the same results. But, you know, you can kind of see the similarities when he mentions that name.
Well, balance and bat speed are great. You know, I was looking at the schedule, Keith. 5 left-handed starting pitchers are going to be going up against the Mets when they go back home. So that's going to have a factor in if Conforto stays with the big club.
Well, Conforto, if he does stay at the club and is not playing, it means a lot of extra batting practice. Stay sharp. Stay ready.
Darno up with a count in his favor, 2-0, as Kevin Long tries to explain the at-bat to Conforto, or Conforto to Kevin Long. Both ways. 3-0 here to Darno. Rare hitters for Odorizzi, who's shown some good control so far early in this game. Pours a fastball in for a strike, again with a shift for the Tampa Bay Rays against Darno. 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. Just James Loney, the lone person at first base. That's the first 2-seamer we've seen from Odorizzi. Good movement on that pitch.
Sometimes Darno gets in a count and tends to overswing. I just like to see him just use both gaps, hit those line drives, and they throw that hanger or make a mistake. That's the ball he hits out.
Good fastball by Odorizzi and taken by Darno. Called out on strikes for the first out here in the 5th inning. Second out, sorry, here in the 5th inning.
Paint needs him black. I kind of like this angle. Above the pitcher more, you get more of an idea. You lose a little bit of elevation. What's a strike? But you certainly can read more the inside corner. I can just sometimes when the camera's a little shifted to the right more, to the left field side, you can't read the inside corner. But this angle gives you a good shot of both edges of the plate.
Plus, Mr. Odorizzi has spent a lot of time on the corners so far in this game.
Keeping the ball down.
Battle.
Keeping the ball down.
Yeah.
Too.
Purpose with each pitch for Odorizzi. 2 fastballs, slider fastball, and then a fastball up as Wilmer Flores on deck. Had a base hit in his first at bat. Good changeup from Odorizzi for the strikeout. 2 strikeouts in a row there, and still the Mets haven't scored as DeGrom goes out to pitch the 5th. Back here at the bottom of the fifth, only a solo home run by the Rays. Grady Sizemore separates these two teams. First pitch swing, Daniel Nava down the left field line. Conforto with the hustle, but it's out of play. Grom doesn't have his best stuff here.
He still hasn't. He's lost a little of this slider in this outing. He hasn't got the sharpness back.
I guess it tells you how good he is. He's only given up one run. He doesn't have his best stuff.
Agreed. And he's thrown 90% fastball around.
Yeah. Nava had a year in 2013 when everything went right for the Red Sox as he strikes out here against DeGrom. Boston strong, World Series. There's Wilmer Flores. You know what's interesting about Wilmer? Defensively, he has something written in his cap that he'll occasionally look at, whether he's playing short or second base. Never really seen that before.
Interesting. Maybe it's something covert.
I was thinking maybe it's a motivational phrase or something like that.
Guys, actually what it is, Wilmer Flores puts a piece of paper in his hat every day. It has the opposition's lineup, and next to each person's name it tells him where to set up defensively as Kiermaier lines out to first. But where to set up defensively, because there's so many different areas now with the shifts and the new alignments, and that piece of paper, it's actually catching on. He says he helps out his teammates on the infield by giving them heads up sometimes.
Cheat sheet. I mean, that's what it is.
Well, the quarterbacks can do it in the NFL, then the shortstop can do it in the big leagues.
That's right. Well, it just tells you really about the shifts in baseball today. There's so many that I'm sure it has to be confusing at times for the middle infielders.
Well, you can get some help from your coaches, too, you know.
Sally talked about his home runs, 7 home runs. He had 4 in 2 games back to back. Fastball inside, fouled away. As DeGrom in this inning anyways working in front of the hitters for a change, trying to get himself an easy inning here at the bottom of the lineup.
What a wealth of riches the Mets have in this starting rotation. If you look into next year, and we don't want to, we're very much in a stretch run here right now in August. But strike 3 on Paint. But the 5 coming back next year, DeGrom's going to be the oldest at 28.
I think as deep a pitching staff as I've ever seen. But still, after 5 innings, Mets are losing 1-0 to the Rays. Flores leading off the 6th inning here for the Mets against Jake Odorizzi.
Got ourselves a nice little pitching duel here. Very impressed with Odorizzi. Nice stuff. Good, not overpowering. Spots his fastball, keeps it down. Good, excellent changeup. That's what he's been doing all day. Run an outside corner and knees. Really, his breaking ball is his 3rd pitch.
Foul to the right side. This is a Cadillac drive around the majors. Watch out for those Cubbies. Lester with another great start as they beat the San Francisco Giants. Kershaw's scoreless inning streak ends, but 2-2 in Pittsburgh. Bryce Harper drove in a run. So did Ryan Zimmerman as Washington's leading Colorado 2-0. 2-0. There's Curtis Granderson on deck.
Well, I think the Nationals had a wake-up call in there. They got swept in Citi Field by the Metsies. And they're not going to go down quietly, but I just feel that there's not something's rotten in Denmark. I had to throw a little Shakespeare in there. Just something is not right internally with that club. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I have nothing to back it up. It's just my feeling.
Ball hit off the bat by Flores down the left field line. That little corner. Oh, Grady Sizemore with the play. What a play by Sizemore. That is the small part of the ballpark down the left field line where the cutout gets very shallow, and he gives up his body and makes the play.
This is a heck of a play right here, and robs Flores of his 12th home run. That is a beautiful play. Long way to run. And just trusting the padding. That's just a fine play, and that'll take him to dinner. Don't raise your hand. Take him out to dinner.
As a pitcher, you just feel like that ball is gone, and Grady Sizemore has a home run in this game, which is the difference maker, makes a difference on defense.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Odorizzi just keeps pouring those fastballs on the knees. Staying down has been his strength this game.
Both pitchers with their fastballs have been wanting to throw strikes on the knees, and they have. And then they come upstairs out of the strike zone. Just, I hate when they say raise the elevation, raise the eye of the hitter. That's baloney. It doesn't work. It's a good pitch.
I'll make sure I never say that again.
It never really had any effect. Sometimes you just fish. It gets you to chase. Well, there was a pitch for Curtis to smack right down in the strike zone in his zone.
Every pitcher, it doesn't matter how good your game is going, you're going to make a few mistakes during the game. Sometimes you have your special games because the hitters miss those pitches that you missed with. Another change up there, fouled off by Granderson. Keep the count at 2-2. 78 pitches so far for Jake Odorizzi. Low pitch count here in the 6th inning.
There's the upstairs fastball fought off by Curtis. Stays in the at bat.
It's really what Curtis has done best, hasn't he, Keith? Is that, you know, we remember him as that guy who hit over 80 home runs as a Yankee, but he's done a great job of staying in at bats and fouling tough pitches.
Curtis has 17 home runs on the year. Will you take that from the leadoff hitter? I think you would. You're starting to get into the territory of Bobby Bonds, going back to the old days when I was in high school when Bobby Bonds came up for the Giants and led off. Ricky Henderson, of course, with the Oakland A's, New York Yankees, Hall of Famer.
I played with Ricky. It was unbelievable. He'd come in some days and he would talk about himself in the third person. He said, Ricky's going to get his today. And he would. That's how good he was. Good 3-2 pitch to retire Granderson on the strikeout as Odorizzi stays hot.
Fastball right on the outside corner, knees.
Let's go to Doug Williams in the studio for a game break, brought to you by Honda. First pitch hitting by Murph, who hits about 370 when he puts the first ball in play. Line drive to right field.
Well, Murph, no matter what, always seems to find a base hit. He seems to find a base hit. Tough pitchers out there. He finds a way to get that one hit, or when he's struggling in a slump. You know, one a day, I'll always keep that doctor away.
And even more importantly in this lineup, even with 2 outs, brings up the Mets' best hitter. Cespedes struck out in his first at bat and drove one deep to right field in his second. Ball up high for a 1-0 count.
This lineup right here now, the Mets, you know, they've got Granderson, Cespedes, Duda, and Uribe. You got to be careful as a pitcher. One mistake and they can lose it. You're losing 2-1.
See the infield, the shift to the left side of the infield. The center fielder, Kiermaier, playing to the right of second base. The Mets have a little fear factor in their lineup now with these changes.
Yep, especially with Duda getting on track. Cespedes in front of him. You got a 3-4 with some pop.
Slider hit the right field again, and it looks like Daniel Nava's going to be under it for the third out, and Odorizzi gets through the 6th inning. Mets still no score, losing 1-0. Well, this is a big inning for Jacob deGrom, losing 1-0 going through the top of the order here with John Jaso.
Every inning right now, when you're losing 1-0, you want to keep your club 1 run down and hope they can get you back in it, get you a lead.
Well, we saw it with Jonathan Neese the other night in Miami. He pitched a wonderful ball game, only gave up a run, but was tied, and the Mets added on late as Juan Uribe moves over to the right side of second base from his third base position. Line drive hit, but foul. When you have this kind of shift, Keith, Duda's almost playing right on the line. Anything to his left is going to be foul.
Yes, and I just feel, I know you got a pull hitter up there. Get a little more off the line. He's fine right now where he's at. But you certainly got that side of the infield covered.
See the People's United Bank, tonight's starters and their numbers. Odorizzi has been almost perfect, and deGrom just the home run to Sizemore.
Well, good pitching. You'll always look in that walk column and you'll see a big 0. And right now, neither pitcher with a base on balls.
That's something nightly we see with the Mets, isn't it? There's Sizemore on deck. Good swing by Jaso, just a little late on the 3-2 count.
Well, the Mets for a long time had the least amount of walks in the National League, and now they're at 14th. The Nationals have the least amount of walks.
Fastball hit to the right side, gathered up by Kelly Johnson, and he out at first base with deGrom covering.
I feel that Lucas has got to realize here that he's got a guy playing behind him at second base 20 feet into the outfield, and that he doesn't really have to go to his right. See, it's already covered. He's got to realize that. Therefore, he's focused, to me, the way they're positioning. If I was out there at first base, I would be focused on anything down the line to my left, and anything to my right. Second base has got it covered.
And you get picked up because deGrom is so quick to first base. It was an easier throw for Johnson. Let's see what deGrom goes after Sizemore with. You said he hit a breaking pitch or a changeup for the only run and home run of the game. Fastball lifted to left field. Conforto on the chase.
Nice.
And he makes the play. A lot of foul ground here, Keith, like you said.
And he's been getting a workout today. And I tell you what, I've been impressed with his play in left field, Ron. Whatever he can get to, he's sure-handed.
Well, it's interesting. You hear a lot of reports from the scouts or people in minor leagues that he couldn't run, couldn't play defense. He's really just hit only. That's not Michael Conforto. Longoria 1 for 2 with a single. Good fastball away.
Remember, Longoria got the very clutch playoff, a home run right down that left field line that Sizemore made the catch.
Well, he had a home run too in 2011 to end the season.
Right.
In an extra inning game against the Yankees that went right down there. I think he pinch hit, in fact, in that game to hit that home run. That was the night that Carl Crawford couldn't come up with that base hit in Baltimore. That Robert Andino hit off Jonathan Papelbon. Just a crazy, one of the craziest last nights in baseball. And this year, in fact, all the teams are going to play at the same time on Sunday to make it even crazier. Fly ball lifted out to right field. Granderson under it for the third out. Beautiful down here in Tampa, St. Petersburg. Mets still down 1-0.
Tonight's Twisted But True Fact is brought to you by Twisted Tea, the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. There you go, Ron.
Mets have scored 5 more runs in 4 straight games for the first time this season. The only MLB teams as Duda hits the first pitch and pops up to left field. Grady Sizemore makes the out. Only the Cubs, White Sox, and Rays are the only other teams to have done it. Steve Geltz in the bullpen for the Tampa Bay Rays. This is a dangerous period of the game for the Mets here in the 7th. Want to get a run on the board. Jake McGee and Brad Boxberger for the Tampa Bay Rays, 2 of their strengths in the bullpen.
I didn't know Tampa signed Gelbs. Oh, it's Geltz.
Geltz.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Remember the shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies in our days? Steve Geltz?
Yes, I remember that. I remember him very much so.
It's a time in the game where as a pitcher you feel the only way you can win it is to win it 1-0, and that's where Odorizzi is. Uribe trying to change it with one swing of the bat. One is grounded out to short and flew out to center field. Oh, there's one. Hanging slider to Juan Uribe. Forget about it. Tie ball game. Uribe's 11th home run, and just another big hit.
Third
since
home,
he's been to the Mets.
Third home run as a Met in 10 ball games. Big one. Back to square one.
Some people in the analytics world will tell you there's no such thing as clutch hitting, a clutch player, the guy who comes up clutch late in games. It's baloney. There are guys like that, and Uribe is one of them. He's got the Mets fans going here. Hanging slider, Keith.
I told you it was his 3rd pitch, and he hung it, and Uribe said to the catcher, "Relax, I got this one."
He put it on the tarp.
Bomb. Vinny Bommarino. Well done.
Well, Conforto started this trip, Keith, after the Mets had. It was Jacob deGrom, happy to have that game tied after the Mets had gotten in at 4:30 in the morning. And some teams can be flat, but Conforto put him on his back with a 3-run home run early against the Marlins. Whenever I judge hitters, balance and bat speed to me are pretty important to see Darno on deck. Conforto's got both. Popped up by Conforto, straight up in the air. James Loney making the call. He drifts and makes the play.
Get to Citi Field, fans, on Saturday, August 15th, when the Mets play the Pirates, and stay after the game for a special post-game concert featuring 3-time platinum rhythm and blues artist Neo. Okay. The post-game concert is included in the price of your ticket, and it's all presented by Pepsi. Purchase tickets online at Mets.com/concerts.
I knew you'd be all over Neo.
I got help from the truck, I got to confess. And I tell you, I was sitting there, I was ready to stutter. I was going to pull a Ralph Cramden.
Humana, humana, humana.
My producer threw me a life buoy there.
2-0 here for Darno. fastball right by d'Arnaud on the 2-0 count. It's almost like when you watch d'Arnaud, Keith, he's still getting back into major league shape.
Stands far off the plate. Very fast bat. Love the way he stays on top of the ball, up in the strike zone, deep in the box.
Ball hit down the right field line. Lots of room in right field, but it'll go out of play. So hard for the right fielder to go over those pitching mounds. Almost every ballpark in our day, Keith, had the pitching mounds on the field. You don't see a lot of it anymore.
Candlestick had it. I never liked them. Wrigley, I have to go back for pop-ups, and you're looking up, and all of a sudden you're running uphill. You can get hurt. Rizzi thought he had that one, and I'd be hot right here. They're bringing a right-hander in.
And he is hot. One walk here to d'Arnaud cost him.
Oh, he brought the glove back. Boy, Skip, I just gave up a home run and a walk.
Take out the hitters, not me. Verizon call to the bullpen as Steve Geltz comes in for the Rays against the Mets. Well, you see Steven Geltz's numbers, 3.66 ERA, but it was a low ERA in his first 33 appearances. His last 19, his ERA is almost 7. Well, you've got one big hit from a veteran acquisition in Juan Uribe with that home run to tie the ball game. Can you get another big hit from your other acquisition, Kelly Johnson?
Good slider right there. It's a good one to lay off.
Good fastball right by Kelly Johnson, up and away. Steven Geltz has given up a couple of home runs to left-handed hitters this season. Again, fouled straight back by Kelly. Well, this has been the strength for Tampa Bay all season long. They have not been able to score, but their pitching and defense has been extremely strong, and it's been strong tonight. Or Kelly Johnson had a pitch to hit there.
As they bounced around Xavier Cedeno. Yep. Remember him in his Houston Astro days, recently with the Washington Nationals, and now with the Tampa Bay Rays. Left-handed specialist.
He'll always have a job somewhere.
Yep.
This ball hit straight up in the air. Evan Longoria, the only infielder on that side, makes the play for the third out, but the Mets get even. How do they get even? On Juan Uribe's third home run as a New York Met. He gets a hanging slider, and he hits it up on the tarp as the Mets tie this game 1-1 in the middle of the seventh. The Mets franchise record for consecutive games scoring 5 or more runs. Very difficult question. Need Gary for that one. He might know. Howie might know. But we're tied here 1-1, but Washington now has gone up 4-0. Worth hit a sacrifice fly, and Ian Desmond with a double to drive into 2 extra runs as Bobby Parnell and newly acquired Eric O'Flaherty up in the bullpen for the Mets. Count even here on James Loney, who has hit a ground ball to a shortstop and dropped one into left field just inside the line for a double. There's a ball hit right on the nose to right field. Forget about this one. Rays have gone up again. Home run, Keith, that DeGrom has given up.
9th to left-handers, and a mistake with the fastball. Last half inning, a hanging slider off Odorizzi, and then DeGrom gives it right back. Got a fastball over the middle, and there was no doubt about that one.
Stopping play here for a second. The ball from the bullpen. Mets bullpen came right behind the plate. Tim Timmons called time. Loney, who's not known for his home run power, got one there.
Fourth. DeGrom's reaction, folks.
Well, he just knew.
He knew it.
You know, your team comes back, gets you tied. You need a shutdown inning, and the first batter takes you deep.
Right.
Forsythe 0 for 2. Talked about he's been one of their most consistent hitters. Came over from the San Diego Padres. Another changeup from DeGrom, right-hander to right-handed hitter. You don't see that too often. We've seen it once to Forsythe for a strikeout. He tried it again. Here's the two relievers again. On the left side, Bobby Parnell, and the lefty, Eric O'Flaherty. Well, DeGrom's still throwing hard, 95 miles an hour. But you're right, Keith. He hasn't had as many weapons to work with. The
Correct.
slider hasn't been great. Changeup's been iffy. It's mostly been his fastball.
Oh, right by him. He got angry.
That was an angry strikeout after giving the home run up to Loney. His 7th strikeout this evening. One out here in the bottom of the 7th as Struble Cabrera comes up. The shift on again for the Mets. Wilmer Flores on the right side of second base. Kelly Johnson out in right field. Lucas Duda hugging the line, and in is Uribe at third base. Take away the bunt just in case. Cabrera has not had a good evening against DeGrom. 2 strikeouts. Now Uribe leaves third base. DeGrom has the weight for him, and now he takes on the second base position. And Cabrera fakes a bunt. Smart play in a one-run game.
You darn right, it's a smart play, and the Mets are given a gift right here. Even if Flores is creeping in, but you put one down the third base line, Flores can't cover that. There's no way. A one-run ball game, it's the time to do it.
And he is doing it, but a bad bunt, and Darno misses it, and it goes foul.
Oh boy, he should have went after it with the glove and 2 hands.
He tried to barehand it. You're right, Keith. Missed it, and the ball, when it was spinning, spun foul.
You've got to pounce like a tiger on prey when that ball's in front of home plate. Talons out and get it. And then, you're getting that funky spin, too.
Well, the key that you said, Keith, don't go after a bare hand. Go with your glove. Kind of block it with your glove. I don't think Darno, when he let it go, he didn't know what he wanted to do.
I think he got fooled by the back spin.
And fastball up and better swing there by Cabrera on that 1-2 count. Change up by DeGrom just wide to even the count at 2-2.
You know, these are things that we are seeing now on this young pitching staff. Not everything's a bed of roses in this game. There are times when you go out there and you have everything going for you, and there are times you go out there and it's not there. And now we're seeing a game, the start last time against Washington, where DeGrom had nothing and he battled through. And we're seeing DeGrom here with not everything. He's got his fastball, but not his secondary pitches, not the command, and still battling. Those are the things you look for.
That ball jams and breaks the bat at Cabrera. Will it stay in play? No, 2 rows back. So
Sunday on Jets Nation Inside Camp. Get a complete breakdown on Saturday's green and white scrimmage with highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews, plus all the latest developments straight from camp on Jets Nation Inside Camp. Sunday at 7 only on SNY. And can you believe, Ronnie, I believe next weekend it's first week of preseason. Can you believe that?
That ball hammered but foul. Same pitch that DeGrom threw Loney, who hit it for a home run, caught more of the plate, but quick back there by Cabrera. This ball is where he wants it to be, up and in. Just pulled foul by Cabrera.
It's a loud strike.
This ball hit and hammered to right field. Off the wall, played on one hop by Curtis Granderson, who fires it in. One hop, but off the bag. And a double for Cabrera. See the hustle there by Flores. No one was covering third. That should have been where d'Arnaud was, and that's why Flores ran halfway to third base. Double though for Cabrera.
Yeah, I think Terry Collins has got a right read here. He's going to the bullpen. I think DeGrom is tired a bit. Made a couple mistakes with the fastball.
Well, Terry Collins coming out to get DeGrom, who gave up 2 solo home runs to the Rays, and the Mets trail 2-1. He came in to retire Dee Gordon to end the 8th inning, but then gave up 4 hits, 3 of them to left-handed batters when he came back out. Well, new batter Brandon Geyer, who's going to be hitting from the right side to replace Daniel Nava.
I think the Mets had seen enough of Alex Torres and his inability to throw strikes, and just figured this was an even swap with Flaherty not having a good year at Oakland. ERA well over 5.
Geyer hit by that pitch from O'Flaherty. Never moved, fastball in, and it caught him. See d'Arnaud moving in. Fastball cuts in and hits not only the thigh, but caroms and then hits d'Arnaud in the arm. Well, Flaherty will have the lefty-lefty matchup, and now with 1 out here. slider blocked nicely by Darno. Keep it in front of him. That pitch not close from O'Flaherty. You know, with O'Flaherty, the trade key, it's not only Alex Torres, but Jerry Blevins, who was good in his few outings that he had for the Mets, and then struck, of course, by that line drive and broke his arm, re-injured his arm. So O'Flaherty more important now. And Blevins was perfect in April. That's where he gets hit by the line drive, tosses it. It already broke his arm at that point, hit him right in the left forearm. And what we've heard is that he had just had a little mishap, fell, and re-injured the arm.
Well, he had just been cleared to start throwing, Ron, and evidently fell on the same spot and did it all over again. So at the season, he may possibly need surgery, and that's the end of Blevins for 2015, unfortunately.
Flaherty pours in a strike to get the count to 3-1. So Flaherty's role down the stretch becomes so important. Everyone in the bullpen has got to raise their game at this time of year. Fastball down the middle, but it jams Kevin Kiermaier. Wilmer Flores makes the catch at shortstop for the second out. Well, as Terry Collins comes out to probably get O'Flaherty. There's the bullpen this season. Familia, Parnell, Clippard, Robles, and Torres from the right side. And the lefties now are Sean Gilmartin, who's not a lefty specialist. So it'll be O'Flaherty. It'll be onus on him to get the big left-handed outs. Bobby Parnell comes into the game for the Mets, who are now trailing 2-1. Huge out for Bobby Parnell to get. These are his numbers on the season. He got 2 outs in Miami 2 days ago. The Rays do not change. Kirk Casale, their catcher, still up and takes strike one. Step off by Parnell as he and Darno trying to get on the same wavelength. Darno tells him, going to go through a series of signs again.
On the infield, you want to keep the ball in the infield, dive and knock something down so the run can't score.
interesting, that spike curve for a ball from Bobby Parnell, who we all know does not throw that 96, 97, 98 anymore. So that breaking ball is going to have to be a big part of his game down the stretch. There it is again. Again out of the strike zone.
Parnell, since he's come back, is not throwing as hard as he did before surgery, but certainly throwing a much better breaking ball, more command, and I think still throwing hard enough.
Well, this is going to be the most important time for this bullpen to step it up a notch. They have struggled of late. Ball down, 3-1 count.
Well, the recent addition of Tyler Clippard really fortified the back end of the bullpen, Ron. Familia has struggled the second half. He needs to get right. If the Mets are going to be serious about a division crown or getting in the playoffs, Familia's going to have to get it back.
A fastball inside and a walk to Perkins Alley by Bobby Parnell, and now the bases are loaded for John Jaso. Now, it's not only that Familia, Keith, has struggled a little since the second half. It's not only that, he was so perfect in the first half.
Yes.
That's the issue.
He's just going through a little hiccup right now. I'm sure he'll get it back. The concerns are the left side of the bullpen and that Met bullpen, and I still think Carlos Torres in a long role can do a fine job. Robles is serviceable. He's been good and bad, so I have no issue with Robles. He goes after hitters.
Fast cut right down the middle by Parnell. Good cut by Jaso.
I mean, if you consider Robles is a rookie, and he's been brought in. No one even heard about him, and I think he's taken his lumps. He's done well. He's been hit a little bit. He's done some good job in and out. I think I have no issue with him in a tight game. You're going to have to go out there and beat him. Big open stance.
Ball hit hammered to left field, but it looks like it'll stay in play. Conforto with the catch, and Parnell works his way through the seventh. But James Loney with the home run puts the Rays up 2-1. Timeless moment. This is Wade Boggs with a home run in the Tampa Bay Devil Rays then uniform, pointing to the sky and kissing home plate for his 3,000th hit. What a hitter he was. August 1999. Brandon Guyer, who hit for Daniel Nava, going to right field for defensive purposes. And the two-headed sword for the Tampa Bay Rays starts with Jake McGee. And look at his numbers, 1-1, his ERA 1.88. Jake McGee is one of those rare pitchers that really just throws one pitch. He throws hard, he throws a fastball, he doesn't know where it's going, and the hitter doesn't know where it's going. Great movement.
Hitters both left and right hitting what? Left-handers 176, right-handers 171. Nice free and easy motion, huh, Ron?
He's a phenomenon. Like I said, he's a guy that just kind of long and easy and just throws it down the middle, and it just, especially up in the strike zone, has lots of life. Hit on the nose, though, by Wilmer Flores to center field, but the field will hold it as Kiermaier makes the out. Let's go to Doug Williams in the studio for another game break brought to you by Ford. Interesting that they had the big shift up here. This is what Curtis Granderson's done in tonight's ball game. Lefty on lefty matchup. Sometimes you don't play that really overextended shift, especially with a guy who throws 95 plus. Ground ball to the right side. Logan Forsythe with the play for the second out here in the 8th. See Daniel Murphy's night. Ground ball, a fly out, and his last time up, a base hit off Jake Odorizzi. And you got to play Murphy straight up.
Well, 2 outs, 1-run lead. Loney on the line, guarding the line. Longoria on the third base side, giving a little bit of the line. I don't want any 2-out doubles here. And Murph certainly has the capability of hitting the ball down the left field line.
This one fouled down the left side. So are you saying that you'd play Longoria on the line?
I would play him on the line. I would play him a little closer to the line. There's Torres, Carlos Torres, and Tyler Clippard up in the Met bullpen. I just don't want 2-out doubles here. If I'm got a 1-run, you're nursing a 1-run lead. You see Longoria just a little bit closer.
And the defense in the outfield is deep, but not overly deep. Another fastball for a strike by McGee.
Outside of that hit by pitch that was missed by home plate umpire Tim Timmons earlier in the game, he has called a terrific game back there.
Fly ball to right field from Murphy. It's high and deep. Back goes Guyer. He can't make the play.
Wow.
Tie ball game. Murph with a 1-2 home run to tie this game. How big was that out from O'Flaherty and Parnell in that 8th inning?
That's an impressive AB by Murph. That ball was up and in, and you never want to pitch inside late. You want to try to hit a home run, you got to pitch on the outside corner, and you try to pull it out of the ballpark. Good hitting by Murch. Seriously clutch, Murph. That is clutch. Keep this club pushing forward. All runs via the home run.
Murph with the high fives.
Number 8.
Only the 3rd home run given up by McGee all season long. 2 big swings from Cespedes. Fouled off down the right side by Cespedes. Murphy's 8th home run of the season and 38th run batted in.
Well, seriously clutch, Mr. Murphy.
When you're on a streak like the Mets are on, these kind of things happen out of nowhere against good pitching. And like Uribe, Cespedes does not get cheated either. There's Lucas Duda on deck. Tyler Clippard now with a swig of water up in the bullpen for the Mets. Oh, and Timmons calls a high breaking ball on Cespedes to end the inning. But a huge home run, one of the biggest of his career, by Daniel Murphy on a 1-2 count against Jake McGree, who's only given up 3 home runs all season long. Murphy's 8th ties up the game. Begins at 12:30 p.m. when Bartolo Colon, coming off 8 fine innings in Miami, will take on the star of the Tampa Bay Rays, Chris Archer. Tyler Clippard now into the ball game for the Mets.
Tremendous pickup to bolster the back end of the bullpen. He's the setup man for the Mets. Makes Parnell the 7th inning guy. Gives a little more depth in the back end of that Met bullpen.
Ground ball to the right side, scooped up by Kelly Johnson for the first out here for Clippard. Tyler Clippard's signature pitch, we talked about it a lot before, is his changeup. And he talked to Steve Gelbs about how he holds it.
think for me, a changeup, I want it to spin a lot like my fastball, and I throw four-seam fastballs, so I hold my changeup like a four-seam grip. So essentially, I want the ball to rotate like all four seams, but I throw it off of this finger. So I get this finger on the four seam, almost like your true circle change, but I get it really deep into my hand, and I just kind of, when the ball comes out, it spins like a four-seamer, and I kind of just make sure I have the same arm speed but don't use my legs, and that kind of what takes the velocity off.
Boy, I found that interesting, right? Because you never hear a pitcher say that. They always talk about the grip. They never talk about not using their legs to push off to make sure that they take the speed off the baseball. We talked about it, Keith. Huge pickup in Clippard trying to get through this 8th inning. And Evan Longoria. That ball hit to center field and deep. Cespedes goes back and is gone. Holy cow. Only home runs in this ballpark tonight, I guess. The Rays go up 3-2.
Geez, it's like, okay, yeah, you take that. We'll take that. It's one slap and a return slap. Fastball. Oh, too much middle, RJ, and up. Longoria covers it beautifully. Deepest part of the park.
Only Longoria's 13th home run this season, but a big one, of course.
Oh, hit the top of the wall.
Just skipped over that yellow line.
No, it's a game of inches, is it not? Most games are. Even in tiddlywinks.
Well, we talked earlier about Jacob deGrom pitching in front of family and friends. Tyler Clippard, who's from Mitchell High, which is in Newport Richey, which is close here in Tampa, hadn't pitched in Tropicana Field in the first 8 years of his big league career. Now has pitched twice in 2.5 months with the A's and now here with the Mets. Line to Lucas Duda on one hop. Steps on the bag for the second out. All 3 balls in this inning have been hit pretty hard by the Rays. Logan Forsythe has check swing one to the pitcher and 2 strikeouts. That home run has really quieted the Mets fans that are in this crowd. For you Met fans who don't see these Rays, of course, or don't pay attention to them, like most of us, Brad Boxberger is their closer. Jake McGee pitched the 8th, and Boxberger is their closer, and he's excellent. It's a changeup that Clippard holds on to a little too long, and the count runs to 1-2. That was a good shot by our director, Bill Webb, with that ball just skipping over that yellow line. Stays in play. Clippard has new life.
Yep. Just when we think Bill, our director, is over the hill, he comes up with one of those.
That ball thrown by upstairs to Forsythe as he gets a sombrero with 3 strikeouts. But Clippard gives up the home run to Longoria, and the Rays lead 3-2.
Your online home of all things New York sports.
That was fast. Well, Brad Boxberger, 27 saves and 29 opportunities, but he's got 7 losses. The last one coming on Wednesday when he walked in the winning run. The Mets are looking for some magic here in the 9th inning. We'll have Lucas Duda, Juan Uribe, and Michael Conforto coming to the plate. Ball dribbled down the left side. Boxberger gets on it. Does he have enough on it? He throws it by the first baseman. Duda's got to get back to first base as he made the turn. And Duda's on to start a rally.
Well, he couldn't have put a better bunt down, and I got to rule this an E1 because he's out if the throw's there.
Well, we see it all the time. Pitchers who can throw 95 plus to the plate can't throw the ball 90 feet.
And they're going to give Lucas a base hit.
Base hit for Lucas Duda.
Oh boy, where were those scorekeepers when I was playing? I never got those.
Well, the Mets haven't lost in August. You need some magic occasionally to come your way, and that's a little bit of it right there with Lucas. Juan Uribe, who hit a home run in his last at bat. Takes one in the dirt, gets by the catcher, and Duda on to second base.
What? That is just not good form by Rivera behind home plate. Look at his here. Backhand. No, come on. You got to get down and block. And he got hit in the knee and it hurt.
Ball hit him right on the right shin guard and carried off.
Boy,
Casale.
One-run ball game and you don't get down.
Another little piece of good fortune for the Mets.
Oh, let's see what Uribe does, the veteran hitter.
You switch to situational hitting here, Keith. And Goria back to the field.
Minimum get the runner over here. It's a big run out there. Let's see how Juan makes his approach. They change the scoring to an E1 properly.
Looked like Uribe was trying to hit that ball to the right side. Fouls it back. Conforto on deck. I think it's worth mentioning again, in his last outing, Boxberger walked the winning run in, the 7th loss of the season, even though he's got 27 saves.
Got down on that one, didn't he?
Mostly fastballs and changeups you'll see from Boxberger. And slings it up there. Ball hit to the right side, but it's a pop-up. James Loney, first baseman, settles under it and records the first out for Boxberger and the Rays.
Huge out for Tampa and Boxberger. Uribe is not going to be happy with himself there. The intent was to get him over, but just didn't hit it on the ground. Now the youngster in a tight spot here in the heat of an August stretch run.
This is his biggest at bat, right?
Hey, throw him in the
young
fire.
career.
Throw him in the water. See if he can swim. It's all good.
Of all the outfielders, 12 assists for Kevin Kiermaier in center field. He's got a fantastic arm.
Pretty much straight away in the outfield. Slight pull, but Asdrubal Cabrera, the shortstop, up the middle.
You can't play that full shift, though, with Duda on second base like they did earlier at bats for Conforto. Count even at 1-1.
They're afraid. Very much. I shouldn't say afraid. Yeah. That's the wrong term. Very respectful.
Careful.
Of Conforto. They know he likes the dead red.
There's a fastball up and away to get the count in Conforto's favor. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach for the Rays. it is. Breaking ball, 2-1 count. That's all Conforto's seen in the last week since he's been in the major leagues. Conforto hits one straight back. Geico Sports Night storylines, Big Blue Report, Giant News, Rex Vic reunion, maybe in Buffalo, and pitchers duel in Pittsburgh.
And may have to add something to that. 5-4 Rockies on a grand slam from Cargo in the 8th or 9th inning.
Ball hit the left center field. It's going to fall. Lucas Duda rounding third. He'll score. Conforto trying to stretch to 2. He does. Double for Conforto, scores Duda and ties this ball game.
What a game. Well done by the rookie. Fastball away, just covered the outside corner and uses left center field. Beautifully done.
And Lucas has to wait to make sure it falls, Keith.
Well done, Lucas. Halfway, but just nice hitting by Conforto.
Interesting about that at bat by Conforto. How many times has he taken strike 3 on a ball that's really close on the outside corner? This one off the corner. He said, I'm not taking this one. I'm putting it in play. Great hitting.
Kept his hands back, stayed level. Quite the game. And with the Washington Nationals losing now 5-4 in the top of the 8th, Drew Storn gave up that grand slam to Cargo, leading 4-1 throughout, now losing 5-4.
The ball up the middle against the shift. Forsythe dives and stops and throws it home. That keeps Conforto at third base. What a play by Forsythe. Earlier you talked, Keith, about infielders have to hit their belly and keep the ball in the infield. Forsythe did that.
It's a heck of a play because it saves a run, but it's also very wise hitting by d'Arnaud. And I just don't, how can you play the shift on d'Arnaud is beyond me. He uses left center field, and this what time it comes to bite the Rays. And the Mets are in a position right now, the sac fly, to take the lead.
Well, tough luck for d'Arnaud there. Could have been the game. It could have been the go-ahead hit. He lost a hit earlier against the shift. Ball 1 here to Kelly Johnson.
This would be a absolutely tremendous win for the Mets and on the road.
Ground ball down the left third base line, foul.
Oh, almost wanted that one to stay fair. Conforto was scored. Easily would have scored.
Conforto going on contact. This ball kind of squibbed off the end of the bat. Keith, it almost caught the bag.
It almost did. I think he got it off the end of his bat. He's probably got one of those cupped end of his bats. Johnson here getting a new bat. Sacrifice fly. You just don't even think about pulling. You just want to get the ball in the air and inside out a pitch in and cover the outside corner and get that fly ball. Ooh, good cut.
With Flores on deck, this is why you made these trades for Uribe, Kelly Johnson, of course Cespedes. Got these veterans, guys with experience coming down the stretch, postseason experience to take these at bats.
Where was that one?
That's a pitch that's been called, I would say, all night long by Tim Timmons. He doesn't pull the trigger here. Fastball down and in.
Right to the glove.
Good pitch.
Things are going the Mets' way.
line drive by Johnson, but right at Cabrera. Cabrera shading up the middle, and it went right to him. 2 outs here in the 9th.
Bullet. Good hitting by Johnson, and what are you going to do? You can't guide it. Just a rocket. Well, the Mets need one of those 2-out base hits.
Can Wilmer do it again? Change up for a strike from Boxberger. Again, a huge shift. You see Conforto on third, Darno on first. Alex Colomé warming up for the Rays in the bullpen. Hit to the right side by Juan Flores. It drops in! Conforto scores the go-ahead run. Darno to third base. A go-ahead hit by Wilmer Flores. What did you say, Keith, about the things going the Mets' way?
Yes, sir. This is quite a ball game.
Good pitch by Boxberger. Flores just tries to make contact, and it drops in right in front of Geyer in right field, who gave a heck of an effort to try to make that play. Kevin Cash comes out. Boxberger's going to be replaced by Colomé, and the Mets lead here in the 9th, 4-3. New pitch for the Rays, Alex Colomé, who's been the swingman really, his 22nd game, but 13 of those have been starts for the Rays.
Big RBI out there.
Here's a trivia answer. Verizon trivia question earlier. What is the Mets franchise record for consecutive games scoring 5 or more runs? Come on, Keith, throw it a year.
2007.
12 in a row. That's smoking.
I don't want to remember 2006 and 2007.
Fastball and now breaking ball by Colomé. Good stuff to get ahead 0-2. Insurance run would be key here for the Mets. We've seen on this trip already Granderson get a couple hits to left field against the shift deep in counts. Evan Longoria, who's in between third and shortstop, has got his hands up to the bench of Tampa Bay. Where do you want me to play? No one's given him an answer yet. That's Jay Familia in the bullpen for the Mets now that they have the lead. Big breaking ball by Colome to end this inning, but not before the Mets score a couple of runs and come back and take the lead here in the 9th inning, 4-3.
Mazda, driving matters. By State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is John Garfinkel of Brooklyn, New York. Contact John at johngarfinkel.com. And by DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Metsies.
Well, Cespedes has moved from center field to left field. Lagares is in for defensive purposes in center with his Gold Glove, and Jay Familia in to try to get the save here for the Mets in St. Petersburg. Familia's been a little shaky lately, but got a save on Tuesday night in Miami. Gave up a couple of hits in his inning of work.
It would be a huge save here. Number 30 if he can get the 3 outs.
Terry Collins said the more that Familia works, the better he'll pitch. He thinks it's better for his sinker. He's worked more of late. We'll see if that's the truth. Familia is coming in for the save. Every save this year means another opportunity to win prizes from Delta Airlines. Go to Mets.com/Delta Dugout to sign up now. Ball hit right up the middle and over the head of Flores. What a ball game. No one's going to give in here as Cabrera starts the bottom of the 9th with a hit.
No one is giving in here. And another sink up. So a little bit of mislocation, if there is such a word.
I don't know if there is a word, but that's the right word. And that's been Familia's problem. He just has not been locating his pitches.
Do you play for the bunt? The rule is at home you play for the tie. This is the American League. They don't bunt.
Uribe's in, but not all the way in. And Duda, of course, has to hold on Cabrera. Geyer came in for defensive reasons for Nava earlier in the game. He's swinging away and hits the ball right to Uribe, who goes to second for the force to first for the double play. Oh. What a turn by Uribe.
They're going to challenge this. They have to challenge this.
You can't challenge a ball before the bag, Keith. You can challenge it after the bag.
Oh, it's clearly foul.
Clearly foul, but they can get the umpires together and confer, but they cannot replay.
Timmons was late with the call. I mean, he's got to know in front of third base.
Well, the hard
part
is Timmons is behind the plate. Can he get out there in time to see the play? And of course, the third base umpire cannot see it.
And they're going to overrule the call, and Terry's going to come out and have a word. Wow. And he may get run here. He may get run. This ball is clearly foul. I don't know what Timmons was seeing.
Well, there's no argument really for Terry. He's just saying that that's your call. You made it that it was safe. And Timmons said, I didn't make the right call. We want to get these calls right. And that was foul.
Timmons was asleep. It was a very late call with that. And I give Uribe credit that he knew it was foul and he continued the play. Didn't assume.
What a play by Uribe, even if it's a non-play. And now. Interesting part, Geyer not bunting on that first strike. Good fastball down by Familia to get to 0-2. That's the location that you need from Familia. Kiermaier on deck.
There's a good sinker, RJ. That'll induce a ground ball.
He's just pounding him inside. His slider has been a little short the last two outings. And a wild pitch or pass ball would be an awful turn of events right now. Slider to Uribe to second base for the out. What a play by Johnson as he makes the scoop.
Foul ball, and this time Timmons was on it. He made the right call. This ball's foul.
But again, Uribe with the play.
Nice slide.
This one closer to being fair than the last one that's played by Johnson, but it won't matter. Another foul ball from the Mets.
Now Terry's saying it's not your call because he fielded it behind the bag. When it's behind the bag, it becomes the third base umpire's call. And let's see, it's very close. So
it's close to whether he's in front, even, or behind the bag. His right foot, it seems to be in front of the bag. But Terry has issues with it and loses again.
And he's hot. Don't you love stretch run baseball? Good played ball game. Two tough teams playing each other hard. Let's see, it's a good angle right here. Oh, he's in front. It's the right call. It's the home plate umpire's call.
Good shot, guys. 0-2 still the count. Ball outside. Counts 1-2. Ball on the ground again to Uribe, to Johnson, to first, safe at first base. but the Mets get the out at second.
Just not hit hard enough, Ronnie. Uribe gets rid of it quickly. Just not enough time to turn the pair.
The Rays were bound and determined to test Uribe on that at bat by Geyer. Kevin Kiermaier up for the Rays, 1 for 3 in tonight's game.
What a game.
Kiermaier has outstanding speed. It would be hard to turn to. Kurt Casale on deck for the Rays. See, this hasn't been like a haymaker game. This is where, like every other inning, someone knocks someone down.
It's been back and forth. Don't like Familia getting the ball up, Ronnie. He's been 2 straight pitches above the belt. He's going to lose his sinker up there. He's got to focus down at the knees.
And Keith, really, that has been his issue. It has been control with the sinker. It's been up in the strike zone. Asdrubal Cabrera has 3 stolen bases on the year, but been caught 3 times. He's going. Ground ball up the middle. Flores drops it to first base. He gets the out.
What a recovery here. Surprise hit and run.
But because Flores is going over to cover, that brings him right to where the ball was going to be. He blocks it to make the play, finds it, and gets the out at first base. What a play by Wilmer.
And he had to contend with the ball possibly hitting the bag, Ronnie. And that's what I think lost his focus, but recovered and got the speedy Kiermaier. Oh my goodness, what a nice recovery. They don't run. It's double play. The ball game's over.
It's almost like Wilmer's been bending over since that play. I feel like that ball got him in the cup up the middle, but he blocked it and made the play.
Duda really giving the right field line here. Well off the line, Duda, and Uribe covering the line. You know, a base hit ties the ball game. I can kind of agree with this positioning on the infield.
And 3 straight balls out of strike zone with that sinker from Familia. Keith, you and I were talking about before, as Dan Warden looks on, that things that came so easily to Familia in the first half, everything has been a struggle in the second half.
Well, it's just been his command.
Pours in a strike there.
3-0 taking all the way. Oh, there it is. That's the sinker we've all come to love and adore. Beautiful.
In the first half, it was almost 90% of the time. It's about 25% of the time now, but that was a beautiful pitch. And the Mets, with one of the biggest wins they've had all season long, they score a run in the 7th, a run in the 8th, and 2 runs in the 9th to win this comeback against the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, the save number 30 for Familia. It wasn't easy. Had a couple arguments on balls hit down the line, and this is a huge win, particularly with that game in the 9th inning, with the Nationals losing 5-4. The Mets can take a 2.5 game lead, 2 in the loss column. I mean, just a terrific game.
You can tell Terry Collins is pumped up. Here's the Jeep summary of the game. It doesn't tell you what happened in the game. Just home runs galore. And like I said before, the Mets with a run in the 7th, a run in the 8th, and 2 in the 9th to get their 4 runs. Clippard with the win, Boxberger with the loss, and Familia with his 30th save.
For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital at the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution to $147,500 so far this season.
Well, Keith, what a game Gary left us to do. They have not lost in August, this Mets team, and sometimes you need a little good fortune. They got some of it in the 9th, but some of it they provided for themselves.
Well, we're in a stretch run right now. We're at the final